You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
It's the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour on a Tuesday, and I'm excited to tell you about some really fun things. First of all, I want to remind you to get registered for the 80s in the Sand event. It's now called the Sands. It's coming up in November, but the drawing is coming up next Friday. So if you get a chance, get registered right now. Go to sunnyradio.com. You'll find all the details there. Just recently announced Andrew McCarthy will be joining us now as well. It is so much fun. Great bands, great celebrities from the 80s movies and TV shows, and then also, again, just a ton of fun. So if you get a chance, sign up right now, sunnyradio.com. While you're there, you should also register for Thunder Road Thursday. That's only 2 days away, and then Free Flag Friday is only 3 days away. So get signed up for all of that stuff today, again, at sunnyradio.com. Now, I'm inviting you to join me on Saturday. I'll be broadcasting from the Good Feet store. Right now in my shoes, I have some premium arch supports from the Good Feet store. I wear them every single day. And I'll tell you what, before I wore these, I had pain in my feet all the time. I have plantar fasciitis. I've heard it plantar fasciitis as well. I'm going to ask them this Saturday how you say that. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong or if others say it wrong, but whatever it is, it's very painful on the feet. And I've struggled with that for many, many, many years. And the best relief I've ever had are my premium arch supports from the Good Feet store. And I'm going to be there again this Saturday from 11 a.m. until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you'll be there over the lunch hour. We'd love to have you swing by and see us. It's right behind Chick-fil-A. It's in Sioux Falls near the mall. And again, we'll be there broadcasting, having some fun. And we're going to give you some bonus chances to register for the Sands trip, the trip to Cancun. So be sure to stop by and see me on Saturday, again from 11 until 1. And that is at the Good Feet store in Sioux Falls. Keep listening for all of the details here on Sunny 93.3.
Do you have a credit card? Is it a pretty good one? Here's how you can tell. Take the details of your current card, the interest rates, points, and perks, and compare them for free to the available offers at bettercreditcards.com. If we can offer you a better credit card, it could save you money every month. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can still check it out at bettercreditcards.com. Do it today. bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit with our guest. Chad Corrie is an author. He's got not one, but 2 books that are coming out here right now, and he's actually from Minnesota, but he's going to be in Sioux Falls. When will you be in Sioux Falls? And you're going to be doing a book signing. Tell us about that.
Basically, it's going to be at the Barnes & Noble. I guess your only Barnes & Noble there in Sioux Falls, actually in South Dakota, on the 29th of April. And that will be from Saturday from 2 to 4. And
you're going to be here specifically for the release of a new book called Shadow Regent. Tell me a little bit about Shadow Regent, and then we'll talk about others in a minute.
Sure. The Shadow Regent is a standalone fantasy book, so it's a great opportunity for people that want to give it a try, see what it's about, kind of step into it, get into it. Basically taking this fantasy world setting that was created for another series called the Wizard King Trilogy to another cosmic level, I guess you can say. We get to see the interaction with the gods and the cosmic things that are going on out there with the scheming and the plotting and stuff that comes after the aftermath of some things that took place in the Wizard King Trilogy. So you got some little cloak and dagger stuff, you got some romance stuff, you got some espionage, a little bit of everything going on, plus a little action adventure. So kind of the perfect mix, like I said, for a nice introductory book for this world setting. It's kind of more like a moderate flavor of fantasy for those that are like, don't really want to get too high fantasy, don't really want to get too low fantasy. It's just kind of a nice, like I said, introductory world spanning type of thing, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Now, in addition to this book, you've also got a graphic novel that's coming out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, graphic novel is called Sons of Ashgard. Ilmet in Elgard is the subtitle. It's going to be a standalone story as well. This is about Viking squirrels. Kind of more like maybe Minnesota flavor, but it fits all over the Midwestern region too. The idea is that this particular story, Eric Redfur is his name. He's exiled from his former community, has to find a new home for himself, and he thinks he's found it, but ultimately he finds himself involved in a bunch of challenges and situations that he kind of finds himself hard-pressed to get out of, and through that process finds some new friends, and maybe he has to go find a new life outside of this community once everything is said and done. It's kind of a fun, I guess, animated type of look to the artwork and stuff. The aesthetic is very much like a traditional animated feel. Story is maybe geared toward more of an adult audience, but it's not like anything that, like a PG-13 thing, so it's safe for just about anyone to get into. to enjoy.
So this one is about a character, Eric Redfur, the squirrel that's a Viking. Is this based on a true story then?
No, actually, the inspiration came in part from having my parents. They have a window into the backyard, and they happen, for some reason, they feed a lot of squirrels, I guess. And I just happened to see this huge swath of just squirrels that appeared one day. Had to be at least maybe 13, 20 of them. I'd never seen that many. It was just a huge number moving around, and got me thinking about what would it be like if squirrels actually did kind of, live in these large groups and develop these societies and things like that. It was just kind of fun to add the Viking flavor to it, to kind of fit the motif, especially of where I'm from, Minnesota area. Kind of tie that in there. But no, it's a very fun, like I said, something different, something people can enjoy. It has a cartoony aspect to it, like I said, as far as the artwork goes, but it's very, I think, a punch with a good story, and it has a nice kind of redemptive arc to it, because he's kind of kicked out for some things I want to get into, but he finds his redemption in the end, and that kind of leads him on his course to another type of story possibly in the future with his group of compadres.
How many books do you have in total? I'm on your website. It looks like you've got quite a few.
So far, we got the Wizard King trilogy, which came out finished, I should say, in 2021, I think. And then 2022, we had the box set for that, the Wizard King trilogy. And then the new one coming out now in March will be the Shadow Regent. And then we have the new one of the graphic novel, which is Sons of Ashgard. And then I signed a deal recently with Dark Horse Books, who's my publisher. They're the prose imprint of Dark Horse Comics. And they will be doing, I think, 2 books a year now for the next 2 or 3 years. I got a lot more in the pipeline. That's going to be a mixture of young adult stuff, short story collections, graphic novels, some other things. So a lot of fun stuff I can get into later on. But right now I'm kind of focused on, obviously, the Shadow Regent and Sons of Ashgard.
So when you're looking at that, you've got, hey, we've got this opportunity to do this number of books over this many years. Do you have ideas for all of those now? Or how in the world do you come up with the ideas to fulfill that?
Those particular books for that deal have already been written. So those are done. We're actually producing them now, I've seen some cover art. It's really kind of cool. So those have been written. Those are done. I have a lot more written up that have just not been picked up yet, because obviously you don't want to flood your publisher like with all these books at once. Some of them aren't the best fit necessarily for this particular publisher. But yeah, I got comic series, I got graphic novels, I got more stories and things I'm working on even now. So it's just trying to keep busy, trying to keep myself focused on the next thing. So I try and get everything written ahead of time before I submit it to a publisher, because I don't like what has happened in the past with other authors and things where maybe they start this big series and then they don't end up finishing it, or they end up dying sometimes at the end of it, not getting it done. I'd rather have it completed and have it finished. And that way it not only helps me because I know what the story is, it's better to promote it, better to make sure it's actually a good finished story. It helps with the publishing too and the marketing. It's a better process for everyone involved. It's a whole lot less stressful because I'm not having to write things as I'm trying to produce it and edit the previous story and do the marketing for it. It's just a lot more enjoyable, I think, for everybody.
And again, you're going to be in Sioux Falls with the Shadow Regent book tour. What day will you be in Sioux Falls again?
That is going to be April 29th, a Saturday from 2 to 4. And, if you already bought the books previously from the Wizard King trilogy, I will sign those as well, or anything else that has my name on it. I'll certainly sign that, not just Shadow Regent. So come on down. Like to meet you guys, interact, and have some fun that way too.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat. I appreciate it a bunch.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it too.
Again, our guest has been Chad Corrie. He's the author of The Shadow Regent. He'll be in Sioux Falls next month, signing copies of that at Barnes & Noble's. All of the details at facebook.com/sunnyradio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News. Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help you protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com. Time now for This Day in Sioux Falls History, brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page and Sunny 93.3. It was on this day, March 21st, 1887, that Leroy T. Butterfield opens his photography studio in Sioux Falls. Now, Leroy was not the first professional photographer in the area. As far as we can tell, that distinction, we believe, lands with George W. Taylor. But Leroy T. Butterfield went to the extreme heights to capture Sioux Falls and its growth and milestones throughout his career. Of course, they literally mean he went to extreme heights, climbing atop many buildings, hills, clock towers, even a few trees in town to get the perfect bird's eye view as the city grew. Butterfield also took many portraits of early pioneers that still exist to this day. He photographed the Plenty Horses trial, which we talked about earlier this month, along with the national attention it brought to Sioux Falls. We owe Leroy big time for capturing the city as it was around the turn of the century and preserving those images for us still to be able to look back to and see today. This day in Sioux Falls history is brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page and Sunny 93.3.
How much do you pay for your wireless phone? Some people spend hundreds of dollars every month for their family. That's crazy! Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. Not 50, 15, 1-5. Yeah, $15 a month for premium wireless. It's time for a Mintervention from Mint Mobile. You can keep your same phone number. You may even be able to keep your same phone. Find out now at Mintervention.com. Learn more and sign up today at Mintervention.com. Premium wireless for just $15 a month at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, March 21st, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets rebounded Monday as investors hoped for FOMC leniency. The budding banking crisis is the first sign of economic cracking, and for some, a reason the FOMC should quit hiking rates. The caveat is that inflation is still high, and the latest data supports the Fed's current policy stance. However, the FOMC may only raise by 25 basis points, but issue a firm statement that says the committee will act when the data is hot. A new round of aid for troubled bank First Republic helped soothe the fears of contagion. A consortium of banks led by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company is seeking ways to raise capital for the bank and shore up its balance sheet. Among the possibilities are dilutive shares and an outright bank sale. Meanwhile, the banking fallout has investors in the EU on edge, which is another sign that global economic conditions are on the brink of collapse. You can get the inside track at MarketBeatMinute.com. We have less than 2 weeks to go for an amazing giveaway from RadioTravelGroup.com.
The Sands is an all-inclusive vacation in Cancun filled with sun, fun, and awesome music.
Pat Benatar, Night Ranger, The Human League,
Dee Snider, Queensryche, and so many more.
We go to this event every single year, and many people say it's the best week ever.
And we want you to join us.
Register for free right now at RadioTravelGroup.com.
The prize is valued at over $4,000.
Register right now at RadioTravelGroup.com.